Joining us with more on the Supreme Court decision is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
So Christina talked about it a little bit there. Explain now what happens to people and their student loans if they thought they weren't going to have to pay them.
Yeah, this is a problem because it's been an emotional roller coaster for these borrowers, right? We're talking about millions of people. 26 million had applied for forgiveness and 16 million had already been approved, and now that's kaput. So what happens is October 1st, that is the day that we begin repaying. And so as Christina said, the interest clock will start accruing in September, but the first payment is October 1st. The most important thing that every borrower needs to do is make sure you're in touch with your servicer and make sure you understand how much is owed, what is the interest rate, and have you enrolled for an auto debit? Because this is the way that you can ensure you won't miss a payment.
What if I can't pay? What if, obviously, my financial situation has changed for whatever reason, I just can't pay right now?
Well, listen, there's a few things to consider. The most important is that there are a lot of different loan programs for federal loans. So the loan that you signed up for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, it's not for the life of you or the loan. There are ways to modify it. There's actually a loan simulator at studentaid.gov. You can go in and say, well, what would a different loan look like? Specifically, there are income-based loan repayment plans. This is important because if your income has gone down significantly, these are plans that will lower your monthly payment, stretch out the time that you will repay those loans. Those can be really good options for people whose circumstances have changes.
Can it get deferred any longer at all or no?
Well, I mean, listen, you can always get deferment under certain circumstances.
Okay.
But I think for the vast majority of these people, after 3 years, they knew that again, a year ago, I knew I had to pay back a loan. Then 10 months ago, I got psyched. Oh, my God, I won't. And now you have to repay it again. So it really is more emotional. Most of the people that I've been talking to about this have said, we've been preparing for the worst.
This temporary on-ramp President Biden has been talking about. Explain that a little bit more.
Well, it's interesting because I think what the Biden administration is trying to do is saying we acknowledge that this is going to be a hard period for some people. And so for this period of time where things are restarting, if you were to miss a payment, the administration, the Department of Education, will not report that to a credit agency. So it will not hurt your credit score. That's really good. But, there are also the concerns. People say, well, I don't want to be in default. They say, we're not going to put you in default. We're not going to put your loan in one of those categories where you sort of have a blemish on your record. I think this is incredibly important. A lot of people who had student loans were doing really well during the pandemic. They didn't have to pay these loans. They had stimulus checks. They paid down other debt. As inflation started to go up, they accrued other debt. And these are the people that we're most concerned about. How will they cope in that?
All right, Jill Schlesinger, thank you so much.
Sure.
Good to know.